Hello, guys. Can you hear us?
Hello, hello.
All right. We have the visuals. Can you give us a yes in the chat if you can hear us well? All right. Hello, guys.
Okay, we have first yes.
Hello, Said. Hello, SS. Hello, Laksha. Hello, Bailey. Hello, Sam. Hello, Seren. How are you guys doing? First of all, yeah, let us know where you're from. Where you coming from? Last time we had a lot of different countries all over the world. Um, So I'm assuming it's gonna be the same this time. Hello, Veza. So we have Veza from Egypt, Rasika from England, Bailey from, I'm guessing, Vancouver or Washington. Uh,
Yeah, Vancouver, I guess. But Billy, you can let us know if you're correct.
we have a brother from Greece, Vasiliki. Hello. Dubai. Hello, Dubai. Saima. Turkish living in Munich. Cool.
Oh,
Italy. Trinidad. Nice.
oh,
Cool. So, Salad is asking us already the first question. Will there just a
where
second.
is?
Uh, didn't. Yeah. The question is, will there YouTube videos posted from May 4th workshop? Will there YouTube videos posted? So the videos will be for the workshop. They're going to be, they're not going to be on YouTube. They're going to be on our workshop page. And in order to access the workshop, you need to be a part of our school group. And just so you know, this is the location. This is the website where you can access the material for the workshop, just so you know. And if you are following us now on YouTube, make sure to go to this link because that's where all the workshop content is going to be allocated. Um, cool. All right. So first of all, welcome to the second Ask Us Anything call that we have here on both YouTube and our um, uh, on our page here on school. The idea behind this is to have like a general Q&A session, answers where you guys can post anything about anything related to Rhino, to Grasshopper, to Rhino to Revit, anything that you'd like us to potentially cover in the workshop. And of course, this is like 1 week before the official workshop starts on May 4th. So this is kind of, we just wanted to get together to kind of talk with you guys a little bit and see potentially, what kind of level of knowledge you have currently, for example, with Rhino and Grasshopper, and where do you expect to be. So maybe you can tell us in the comments what level of knowledge you have in Rhino and Grasshopper. Yeah.
We can also make it maybe post a question in our school, have like a poll, and then just to know in advance the level of grasshopper and
Yeah,
rhino
yeah.
skills.
We can also do this in the group. So until you put some answers here, I'm going to share my screen to show you guys to show you the process of how you actually get in the just a second here to share my screen. Oh. So uh, this is this is the page that you want to get onto. So school.com/outryan.com. When you get inside, you need to just like this is the first page that you're gonna be seeing. This is gonna be like the about page. And if you're not already a member, you simply need to click on the join button now and create your account there. When you get inside, you're gonna get access to the community, and this is the place. This is the place where you're gonna have a lot more uh, information about the workshop. The first post is the most important one. So how to run your workshop, make a click here and watch this 1 minute video where I explain what's your next step. And here you actually need to just click on this link, or this link is the same link that's gonna take you to the workshop introduction page. And this is on this page is everything that you'll need to know about the workshop and how it works and how it starts, where the recordings are gonna be, and also the timetable. This is the most important thing if you wanna participate in a workshop. We encourage you to block out some time, some days. The workshop is gonna be divided into a couple of sessions, and we're also gonna have some surprise events at the end. Uh, we're gonna cover three main topics, which is gonna be Rhino, Grasshopper, and Rhino Side Rabbit. And here you can kind of see on this timetable, we start on Sunday, like Sunday, May 4th, and then we finish May 14th. During these dates, on the dates where you see the red color, that means that that's the workshop video that you need to watch. And then the live event where we're gonna have a lot of these live lessons are gonna happen on the in the blue in the blue day. That's where you wanna be live, right?
Yeah.
So the videos you can watch, you don't need to watch live. You can watch them when they get published because they're already recorded. But the live events you want to attend live. However, we encourage everybody to watch both the recordings, both the videos, workshop videos, and also the events, because at the end of the workshop, we're gonna have some competitions, we're gonna have some prizes, and you'll be able to also win um, potentially some courses with us as well. So that's something that um,
Yeah, so I
we
think
wanna
it's
check.
important to watch all the videos if you have certificate of
Yeah, exactly,
attendance.
exactly. So we had the question about certificates, so we're gonna have certificates as well. So make sure to watch everything if you wanna get the certificate at the end. One other thing is right below this image, you have the timetable and you have the workshop links and downloads. So this is where you can find more about what are system requirements for Rhino, for Revit. These are the official pages of Rhino and Revit, so you can kind of see if you can follow along. And also below here, you can download Run and Grasshopper and Revit and run inside Revit. Make sure that you download the latest version. So when you click here, you have 90-day evaluation version, which means that it's gonna be the newest version. You're gonna get the newest version for 90 days. And we recommend using Rhino 8. Of course, if you have Rhino 7, you can also use Rhino 7, but we're gonna cover some things which are only available at Rhino 8 as well.
Yeah, as Dush mentioned, it's really important to have the latest version of Rhino 8 because, especially for Grasshopper, we're going to be using some components because these type of components they're still developing, and some of them are changed with every version. Each version they apply some modifications, so just make sure to have the latest version
Yeah,
of Rhino 8.
yeah. Uh, After that, below here, you're gonna see the timetable for all of the events. And below here, we put the actual time zones so you can kind of see all of the things that are going to be published at exactly 3 p.m. Belgrade time, Serbia time. But you can see here, like in general, in different time zones, what that time is. So it's 2 p.m. London time, New York time, Los Angeles time, Hong Kong and Sydney and Melbourne. I think people from Australia are the only ones who are gonna have to stay a bit late if they wanna join
Or
this live.
yeah, or our YouTube, I don't know YouTube, our workshop live events will be like some of them will be 4 or 5 hours long. So some of them maybe wake up early.
In the morning, yeah.
Yeah,
So
in the
that's
morning.
also possible. It's gonna be like the live events are gonna be very long, so
Yeah,
just so you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
And all of the rest is, like it is what it is because we cannot possibly have the perfect time for everybody because everybody's in different time zone.
Yeah, I'm aware that for the Grasshopper live event will be more than 4 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe for 5, 6 hours. I'm still not sure. We are still preparing material.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna also like kind of switch it and maybe make more breaks in between.
Yeah.
But just it's gonna be
Yeah, I
long.
just want to let you know in advance prepare yourself to prepare enough coffee and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, then the next thing I wanted to mention here is this second link is gonna show you how does this platform work. So you wanna watch this video. It's gonna explain essentially how the whole school platform works and how you can find the events. In case you want, you can also, I mean, we recommend that you go to the calendar as well, and then you will see here when you go to May, all of the events are gonna be located here, so you can simply click on the event and then add it to your calendar directly. And that means that you're not gonna miss it. If you wanna watch it live, make sure to add each one of them to your Google Calendar, and then you can simply save it here, and you're gonna have access to that through your Google Calendar as well. So yeah, that's about it. And then, of course, when the workshop starts, these are going to be the pages where the location of those recordings and those live events are going to be placed. So May 4th, this is where this is where the actual video is going to be posted, and then you want to come here at 3 p.m. Our time to watch it, and then again, we're going to have also live events below here the day after. All of this is
Mhm.
pretty self-explanatory, but of course, we have a lot of questions. Even though this information is all right here, we still get questions from people. When does it start? How long is it gonna be? And
Yeah,
yeah.
this question also is a lot of times. So
So
can Melbourne people get access to the recorded live event?
mhm.
Some
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure. Yeah. Everybody's gonna get access to the live event. So all of this is gonna be recorded, even though you cannot make it live. You are going to be able to watch it, morning after. Just make sure that you really watch it because, again, if you wanna participate later on in our game show and all the things we prepared, at the end, you want to watch the whole thing, because we're gonna have some surprises for you. So essentially, all of the recordings are gonna be available here. For example, let's say you join on May 8th. That means that all of these recordings from May 4th to May 7th are gonna already be there on the platform, you can watch it, but it just means that you kinda need to catch up, right? To follow along, and that's all there
yeah,
is
we
to it.
skipped some questions, so maybe we can
Go back.
yeah, we can go
Okay.
back.
Alright, so let's start with the questions. Da-da-da.
I think the first one is sure, but yeah, you want to
Yeah,
explain
this
about
is,
the
I mean, like, right now, we're more focused on the workshop. When the workshop ends, you're gonna have the ability to join the course, of course, if you want, but right now, we're not gonna talk about the course.
yes. So um, we have this question for the Vray, but maybe we can go back
Just a second, let me
to
answer
that
this
one.
one. So, this is like, how do I know that I have actually enrolled to the course? You're probably asking about the workshop. So, this means, like, if you are already inside of our school group, if you can see this page, this means you're already inside. If you're already inside of our school group, you're already enrolled for the workshop.
Yes, and you will get notification when we publish the
Yeah,
first video.
you will actually get um, the email when we go live. Just a second, what did I do here? Minimize. Okay. Maximize. All right. Okay. I just hit us. I don't know how to unhide us. Probably here. Okay. All right. The next question is, let me see. Um, when I apply V-Ray material to later Rhino, the UV mapping isn't scaled, and I have to scale for every single object individually. Is there any workaround for this? So this is actually, yeah, for every single object, you need to have a proper mapping for that object. So you actually do this in Rhino's mapping panels, and that's where you need to specify the mapping. Usually, whenever you have like a material from a V-Ray, usually it says like 1 meter by 1 meter, or it says 2 meters by 2 meters, and that means that the object you're applying the material to needs to have exactly the same mapping. It needs to be 2 by 2 by 2, right? So first you apply that to one object, and then if you want to apply the same thing to all of the objects, you have the ability to replicate the same settings to all of these other objects. We can actually show you this later on. I can make a short video for you to see in the group. Um, how long these sessions are going to be? So we don't know.
Good question.
Yeah, it's like the videos, the workshop videos are gonna be they're not gonna be too long. They're gonna be around 15 to 20 minutes, but the actual events are gonna be quite long. I'm assuming from 2 to 6 hours, that's gonna be like the time frame. We prepared a lot of material, and there's a lot of material to go through, so, we suggest that you actually, come to this like you're coming to a real class and be prepared to stay for some time because we're gonna cover a lot of things. It's just gonna be like a condensed teaching on like a lot of information is gonna be covered. So this is the reason why we're doing these only once a year because we really want to give you a lot of value up front. So just make sure that you block out these days and that you're available these days so that you can interact with us live. You can ask us questions directly.
Yes, and don't worry if you feel overwhelmed with the information or with the materials. So you can always rewatch until the May 14th. So if you don't understand at the moment, just make sure. I mean, you can stay until the end, and you can rewatch later because we'll publish the recordings once we finish
Yeah,
with the sessions.
exactly.
So I'm sure there will be some things that you will not understand at the moment. That's, I mean, probably going to be something, but just watch the recordings later. Later.
Uh, question from Sam. I was able to get Rhino for free through the university. Just letting people know there might be more options other than the trial version of Rhino. Yes. So what Sam said is that something that I also suggested. Like there was uh, there was a question in our community as well. Let me try to uh, share this. So this is the page, rhino3d.com, and then you have education. Maybe I can actually post this here. Just a second. So, or actually, I'm going to post it here.
Yeah.
I'm going to post it in the chat. So this is the link. This is the link where you can get educational version of Rhino. You can save up to 90%, which means that you can get this version for like $100 only. And the only thing you need is the proof that you're still in school. So if you're already in university, you should use this chance to actually get Rhino very cheap, and you're gonna have these lessons for life. So it's not gonna be something that you just uh, you need to rebuy every single year. You purchase once, you have it for lifetime. Um, okay. Da-da-da. Okay. So, quick question: do we need to tune into the live sessions to get certificate, or will there be recordings available afterward? So, if you cannot be there live, sure you can watch the recordings. But if you want to get the certificate, uh, you will need, you will need to watch those live recordings before the last event because we're gonna have some kind of a questionnaire for you at the end where you'll be able to get certificate.
Yeah, you need to answer some question, and based on this answer, we'll make sure that you watch all the
All
recordings
the events,
and
yeah.
videos.
Is the workshop beginner friendly for someone that has never used Rhino? Absolutely, yes. So this is created for somebody who is a complete beginner, but also during these days, we might have a lot more information, not just for beginners, but also for intermediate and advanced users. So if you really wanna, dive deep, we recommend that you know, again, block out a couple of these days, like 5, 10 days, to kind of go through this and have like intense learning session. It's definitely going to help you out to learn right. Andrew, how do you apply material in Rhino and Revit to a geometry created with Grasshopper? So right now, this is like a great question for the live event. So we're not gonna like answer this question now, but essentially, the same thing that like through Rhino and Revit, you have the ability to apply to create the material for Revit, and you can then specify the what type of material you want for that particular object to have, and simply just like connecting a couple of nodes in Grasshopper, running and Revit. Okay, what else? Are we doing something on Rhino and follow these lessons from the web? Exactly. So the idea is that you're gonna have also the some of the lessons that you need to watch, and then you should be able to kind of try and test it out on your own, right? So ideally, you would need. I mean, it's not mandatory, but if you have two monitors, that would be the best because you would be able to kind of watch on one side and then practice on the other one, and you're gonna be able to kinda go through it, with us. And, just keep in mind that it's gonna be very, very, we're not gonna wait for everybody to finish because that's not gonna be possible. We're gonna kinda give you the path, give you the really going from beginner level to more advanced level. So, your goal is you should be to actually watch the whole, try to understand as much as you can with us. And if you cannot do everything with us, then you're supposed to actually practice that when the session finishes. And in the next days, you can also ask us questions
We have a problem with the sound once again.
with the sound.
Yeah, we have two messages here. Sound has interference.
Okay. So you guys cannot hear us well?
Can you just let us know about the sound quality? Because this happened
Yeah, this
two
happened
times,
before.
yeah.
So what type of sound do you hear? Do you hear like the static sound or something else? Hello, hello? Sound is stable. Sound is good to me. Okay. So I guess it was a glitch. All right.
Now it's better. Okay.
Okay. Let me
Bad
s
quality for me too. Breaking up. Mhm.
Okay. So it seems like all right, so we're gonna examine this later on. Just let us know right now if it's really, really bad and you cannot completely understand us. We're gonna try to fix this up the next
All
event.
right. Maybe we can move on with the question.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, can you tell me, should an architect student from a country that doesn't use Rhino uh, should learn Rhino? I mean, this is something that is Uh, it kinda depends on, if you wanna stay in your country and you wanna work in your country completely, and, if you, uh, you know, wanna go abroad, right? So Rhino is not used in all of the countries in the world yet, but most of the design, firms that create, for example, architectural competitions are using Rhino. So it's gonna be up to you to kinda see if you want to, go into this direction and learn Rhino and Grasshopper or not. So I would suggest that, there's nothing wrong with learning a new software because you're going to be really standing out from the crowd because you're gonna have, new skills that you can implement. You're gonna have better portfolio, and if you can see the power of Rhino, like if you can see what it can do, and then if you compare that with your skills and with your portfolio, you're gonna be able to see the difference. And then you can kind of compare that and make a decision if it makes sense for you to learn it or not. Okay. Uh, yeah, this is really annoying. Covers this completely. Okay. I have only Rhino 7. Does that mean I need to purchase Rhino 8? You don't have to purchase Rhino 8. But if you have Rhino 7, there's like, I mean, you can upgrade to Rhino 8. Rhino 8 has really nice features for us architects. So uh, through the workshop, you're gonna be able to see what these new features are for Rhino 8, and then you can kind of decide if you think it makes sense. Um, it has really good features for project visualization, for also um, like having the section styles, section cuts. It's really in Rhino, they really try to push new features for architects, so specifically, so not just for everybody, but specifically for architects. And a lot of those features were based on the feedback that they got on the forum from us. So that's something that
Yeah,
you know.
and also I would like to add, there are like new set of components for Grasshopper. So there is a new tab called Rhino, and
Yeah,
you will get like I don't know, 100 new Grasshopper components in Rhino 8.
let me try something else. All right, what's next? Um, I'm studying spatial planning, and I need to generate parametric urban neighborhood. By your team, do you think I will be able to generate urban blocks and urban building topology of buildings? Um, I don't know what your knowledge of Grasshopper is. Of course, you can, if you know this, if you have the skills, you can create urban blocks and whatever, but it kind of depends on your skills.
Yeah, this question is quite, generic, so I'm not sure like what type of urban blocks do you need, or what type, I mean, how detailed it should be, or what is the type of typology, and
Yeah. So
we need like more information or to answer it. I think this one.
Essentially, like, we'd need more, more details on what type of thing you're trying to create. Maybe you can post this question in the community, and we can take a look.
Yeah, with some screenshots.
Um, okay. Do you have some specific shortcuts for the commands in Rhino that we need to set up before the workshop starts? Good question. So we're going to provide you with the workshop with the shortcuts when the first video comes up. So make sure that you watch the first video, and below that you're gonna have some action steps that you can take to actually get shortcuts. And after that, you'll be able to really be like much quicker than just finding the command directly. Um, okay. So are we going to learn more deep understanding of Rhino and Rabbit? Yes. So this is one of the sessions that we're gonna have. I think it's gonna be. Let me just double check. It's gonna be on May. Ryan started May 8th and May 9th. That's where we're gonna talk about Ryan started Revit. So we're gonna show you exactly how this connection works, how you can use Grasshopper and Rhino together with Revit, and that's gonna be helpful in that area. Yeah, this is a good question.
Yeah.
How often the Rhino gets an update? Um, Once, I would say once in like 4 years, something like this. Their development cycle really depends um, on on how big the features they're working on are, and what they like. with them, there's nothing kind of really specific. They never tell you we're gonna publish Rhino 9 in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. It's always an open question, and we never know the answer. But usually, it was around 4 to 5 years
But is
until
he
now.
asked about the updates of Rhino versions? Or some, for example, Rhino 8 has, I don't know, let's say 14, 15 different updates. So make sure is he asked about the update from 7 to 8, from 8 to 9, or updates of Rhino 8.
Yeah,
So
I was talking about updates from Rhino 7 to Rhino 8 to
yeah,
Rhino 9. If you're talking about regular updates, they're like very like I would say every single month they have like a new Rhino version, and this usually comes when you open Rhino. At some point, you're gonna have the dialog box saying you have a new update. Do you want to install it? You click yes, and it
yeah.
automatically updates. I think you missed one question. Okay, please let us know what that question is so we can answer it. Um, Ryan said, Revit, can you more or less know us what's going to be the content of the class? So more or less, the content is going to be about how Rhino inside Revit works, how you can connect Rhino with the Rhino inside Revit, how this integration works, how you can actually start to create your design project in Rhino, and how to execute the whole thing in Revit seamlessly without the need to integrate everything separately. So you don't need to remodel anything in Revit. You simply have a design concept. You have your points, your lines, your Grasshopper script. You push that Grasshopper script through Rhino inside Revit into Revit, and then you actually get the project on the other end. All right. Uh, is any of the Grasshopper course will cover pronunciation fabrication? A great question, Fernando. This particular workshop is not going to cover that, but we are preparing something on this topic in the future, and uh, we cannot say exactly when, but again, we're hoping for the end of this year, possibly. So possibly at the end of this year, we're going to have something like that,
or spring
or
next year.
spring next year. Yeah. Um, uh, okay. So which question is it? Which question did I miss? Staring. Just a second.
Maybe this one is this workshop also beginner, but we I think answer something similar, so that's why we skip this question.
Yeah, this is a similar question. It's beginner friendly. Yeah, I mean, it's mainly focused on architecture because we are architects and we teach Rhine and Grasshopper for architects. But if you're coming from a different background, you're also going to be able to follow. This just means that let's say you're from product design background. So this just means that we're not going to be designing like a phone. We're going to be designing a building, right? And that's the main difference. So the scale of the project is going to be different, but everybody is welcome, of course. So I hope that was the question.
Yeah,
Okay, let me just go back. Um, ah, okay, so Celine, you answered it right away here. So you have a computer engineering background. Sure. Yes. And actually, you're gonna have much, much a better time with learning Grasshopper if you have a computer engineering background. So it's gonna be much easier for you.
especially if you know C# or Python.
Yeah. Um, this is an interesting one. Is it possible to speed up or simplify work in Rhino by using AI tools? I would say yes and no. Yes, meaning certain parts you can, but it doesn't mean that the AI is going to do the work for you. It just means that some parts of the workflow can be automated and can be sped up. So, for example, let's say you build your project in Rhino and you have the model, and then instead of going and spending time for rendering visualization, you can actually just take a screenshot of that model, and then you can use these other tools like ComfyUI or Midjourney that can actually recognize your shape of the building, and it can give you the renders right away. So essentially, it's like you're talking to an LLM. You're saying, I want to have this kind of wall, this kind of texture, this kind of environment, this kind of trees in the background, and so on. And then it's going to be up to you to actually kind of just be creative to see how you want that um, rendering to look like. In terms of why did I say no? I said no because I don't think that AI tools are still strong enough uh, to simply know what you're thinking and to uh, simply use, let's say, your sketch and then be able to make a 3D model out of it. So we're still not there yet. There are some tools that can transform 2D image, so you can actually move like 2D image into a potentially 3D model, but this model is very like it's still not optimized, and it's really gonna be very messy. So you would again need to update it to write and modify it if you wanna use it for anything that is production ready. So I hope that answers the question. Um, do we need to download any plugins for the class? Do we need to download it for Grasshopper or
Mm, I think you don't need, but double check this page that Lucian shared.
Yeah, so usually we would put this on here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So this is where everything's gonna be located if you need to download something. So right now there are no plugins as far as I know. I think last time we had one plugin for Grasshopper,
Yeah.
but I think now it's not necessary. So
Yeah, but I'm trying the Grasshopper. We're trying, to keep only the Grasshopper native components. Last time we used just one plugin just for one component because we couldn't do that without. I mean, that component doesn't exist in Grasshopper once we install. But now for the upcoming workshop, I think you will need just Rhino 8.
yeah. Okay, so Serene told us why she wants to learn Rhino. I want to design 3D printable models. Awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of, let me just show you maybe a couple of models from here. Uh, this is the one that is close to here. So for example, this was 3D printed. Let me see if it's gonna focus or not. There we go. So this was again 3D printed and it was created in Grasshopper. And this is like a small vase. Um, but yeah, essentially you can use Rhino and Grasshopper to produce 3D printable models. Cool. Uh, Fernando is saying, "Keep up the good work. I look forward to hearing about transition." Yeah, we're gonna talk about this in the future when it's ready. It's currently in the making. You can say that much. Um, do you have a method to reduce the amount of trimming necessary during the make 2D model? Really good question. We can actually, I think we created some kind of script, some Rhino script that would allow you to do this. So if you can please, Billy, post this question in the community here, and I'm going to provide you with the Rhino script. Like, make sure you put it here, and I'm gonna prepare the Rhino script for that so that you can check it out. So essentially, instead of doing the manual trimming, the manual cleaning um, of the images or the points, you can actually use this script to just put your rectangle, and it's gonna delete all of the things that you don't need. Cool. Um, let's see this one.
Since the scales of the sample products will be different, if we at our time try different scales and have questions on our preferred scale product, can we reach out to you and how?
Sure. I mean, the
Yes.
workshop is not gonna be like one-to-one help kind of workshop. It's gonna be like one-to-many because we cannot possibly talk with every single one of you. But you're more than welcome to actually post your question about your particular project in the community, and somebody who's already a member here can actually answer. Oftentimes we also answer here. So as long as you have all of the information or the context of what you're trying to do, we'll be able to help you out. So the more information you give us, the easier it's going to be for us to give you the answer. You can, of course, send us your questions and suggestions like what you want to also see in the workshop. That's also welcome.
Well, I like this question. Is it necessary to be good at math to use Grasshopper? I'm reading AAD from Arturo Tedeschi, and in some chapters there are functions and all that. You don't need to be like super good at math, but you need to have like basic understanding of math, I would say. So and to have like you know a solid understanding of that. And related to functions, can you just let me know what type of functions are you referring? So, like, if there is like a sine or cosine function, yeah, I mean, it's not that difficult. Just, I mean, yesterday I was like something on, and you can go to Wikipedia or something like that, and I mean, it's not that difficult. I think you don't need to be like super good in math. That's my point. To understand.
I mean, it's gonna be helpful, of course, if
Yeah.
you're good at math, but it's not necessary to be really good at math to be good in Grasshopper. Because essentially what math can do, it can speed up some things and it can make some shortcuts. But essentially you can, if you just know simple math, you can also go around and do the things with the simple math. The more complex math you know, the easier for you it's gonna be to create that result that you're looking
Especially with AI, go to ChatGPT and a screenshot and ask them maybe
for. Yeah,
to simplify it as much as possible.
that also works. Well, it didn't work before.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting. Do either of you use Bamboo 3D? Let me just show you. I think I can show you. There it is. We're using this is P1 P1S Bamboo Lab. So yeah, we're using that 3D printing. Now let's go back. Um, Sam, do anyone else in the chat have recommendations for 3D printers? Sam, we have a really great topic on this on our community. You can type here, I think it was 3D printing in the search bar, and we already had a topic on this. Uh, I'm not sure if I can find it right now, but I think you can really printers. Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah, here we talked about the recommendation for 3D printers, and we had some people who even created their own extruders. So you can see, for example, he has created his own like concrete extruder here, or actually clay. Sorry, clay extruder. He was showing us the things that he was producing in his workshop. So this is all done. It's all custom. So make sure to go there. And a lot of people here gave their suggestions and recommendations. It kind of depends on the budget, of course. These are some of the recommendations for this kind of budget, right? But if you want to spend more, you have much better machines as well. Um, all right. Um, so do we have more questions? Hello, Sophia. Um, how is the cross relationship between Rhino and other software like Revit, ArchiCAD, or SketchUp? I saw it was advertised that Rhino can do 2D architectural sketches. Can you print output? Absolutely. So, uh, in terms of cross relationship between Rhino and Revit and ArchiCAD, for Revit, we have this native integration that's called Rhino Side Revit. We're going to cover that in the workshop. For ArchiCAD, there is no like this kind of native integration, but Graphisoft for the the guys behind ArchiCAD created their own kind of plugin for this, and they have something similar. However, it's not as advanced as Rhino and Revit. It's not as fluid as the connection of Rhino and Revit, but there's also a connection for that. SketchUp, Rhino and SketchUp don't have any integrations. They're like completely different tools. I mean, not completely different tools, but they're not, I would say, friends, right? Because usually people who are using SketchUp, they don't need very high precision models. And on the other hand, Rhino is super precise. It's NURBS modeling program. On the other hand, SketchUp is mesh-based program, so you don't have much control over the curvy surfaces and things like this in SketchUp that you have in Rhino. So you can, of course, import and export back geometry from Rhino to SketchUp and from SketchUp to Rhino, but they're not like really natively integrated. Uh, Rhino can do 2D. Yes, Rhino can absolutely do anything, pretty much anything that AutoCAD can do, Rhino can do as well. So, and can also print out documentation, drawings, PDFs, and so on. Maybe you can answer
Yeah.
this one.
What plugin do you use to tidy up Grasshopper components? Um, I personally use only Snapping Gecko, so it allows us to align, components on the canvas. Um, and if you want to tidy up even more, I mean, you can use clusters to group, multiple components into one cluster. So cluster looks like a single component. And of course, I use relay um, thing, in Grasshopper as well to tidy up the wires.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, will we be given permanent access to the stool? So it's not stool, it's school. Uh, yeah, you'll be given permanent access. So as long as you join us now, even when the workshop finishes, you'll still access to the school community. We're trying to invite everybody from our social media channels, both here on YouTube and also on Instagram and TikTok, to come to join us in the community, because this is like the place where you can share knowledge. We can, meet up. We can actually discuss what your issues with Rhino, with Grasshopper, with problems. We can help each other out. So the whole idea behind the community is that you have one place where you have people who are like you, who want to learn, who are doing the same thing, and you have us on the other hand where it can kind of potentially help you with that. Um, yeah, so this is not Rhino course. This is just like a Q&A. This is just Q&A session. We're starting our workshop next week, uh, May 4th. So it's gonna be in around exactly 7 days. We're starting. Does this course require good knowledge of architecture? I'm a landscape architecture, and I really don't know much about these structures and anything about inside the buildings. No, you don't need to know much about architecture. We had a similar question earlier. So the whole idea is that we're gonna teach this from a point of an architect, how architects are using these tools. If you're not, essentially you're a landscape architect, so you're also using tools in a similar way like us as regular architects. So essentially, it's not gonna be too difficult for you to kind of understand things. We're not gonna go into too much technical stuff about. We're not gonna talk about how we should, design an apartment, layout, right? It's more about the technical side of things, how we technically produce all this.
Yeah, how to use these tools.
Yeah. Um, Between Lumin and D5, what's the easier to work with and better visual transferring over to Rhino? I would say D5 because we tested D5 a couple of months ago and it was much, much more superior to Lumion. They even have AI assisted commands and features, and they implement all of this very quickly. And they created a huge community already on D5. So I would definitely go for D5 because it's also the results it gives are much more realistic, and my materials are also great. They have huge library, and they're progressing. They're listening to the feedback of their users, which is, in my opinion, the most important thing. And I think V5 definitely. Uh, Thanks. Also, another quick question: how much can Rhino help becoming better at BIM? So, Rhino is this is more like a tricky question because Rhino is not a BIM tool. Like Rhino is a design tool. BIM tools are, for example, Revit or Archicad. So, if you're an architect, it kind of depends if you're just like studying right now or you're already graduated and you're actually working for a company. It also depends which phases of the projects are you working on mostly. Are you working in the design phase of the project or you're working in the construction phase of the project? If you're working in the construction phase of the project, uh, BIM tools are a necessity. You need to know them. But if you're in the design phase of the project, you definitely want to learn Rhino. However, uh, it also helps, even if you're in the construction phase, to understand how Rhino works, because oftentimes you will get models from different teams who are design teams, and then you need to, get the idea how to transfer that model into a BIM environment. So I would say it really is gonna help. It's gonna help you transition that whole phase from going from the design phase to the construction phase. In that way, it can definitely help. Oh, this is Shannon. She's from our course already. I would like to add that I'm already in the course, about one-fourth the way through. I'm a complete beginner and have been very pleased with the material as well. Help that I have received. Okay, awesome, Shannon. Thank you for sharing your feedback. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for the session today. I hope that this was a little bit helpful to you. We're gonna wrap it up for today, and we're going to start our workshop on May 4th. Once again, just so you know, let me just share the link once again. Just a second here. So this is the link. This is where you can actually join the workshop. You'll click on that link, or actually, I can also put it here in the chat. Just give me a second. You can also get it from there. And that's where we're going to have all the information about the workshop. The first post is going to explain how this all works, how you can get started. And we're starting with the first video on May 4th. When you get inside the group, you're going to get an email with all the instructions. And if you have any questions, you can simply message us here. And from there, next time we're going to see in 7 days.
See you soon, days, guys. Bye.
All right. Bye bye. Have a nice one.